Hey, welcome to Grandpa Sees the Blinking. Please don't take anything Grandpa says as financial advice, and if you would, please like, share, and subscribe. Okay, so what are we going to go through here? Pivot points. We have a new bottom pivot point, technically, at 320.07, $320.07 in Tesla. And so we should be going up and down and all around, but predominantly up. However, I'm going to point out why this pivot point might not even be our bottom pivot point, and if it is our bottom pivot point, why we may be going back down very close to that 320 before we resume our upward trend here. And all the reasons for it. I'm going to cover pivot points, trend lines, support and resistance, and the white lines that hit almost 100% of the time, just shy of 100% of the time they hit. And where are these white lines? I'm going to show you all that shortly here. So the dominant trend is currently down. This is a weekly chart. Each candle is 1 week. This was last week's candle, and today is President's Day, and tomorrow on Tuesday we will start a new candle. And this trend line here in red that I have highlighted goes back to the high of Tesla at 488.54. And it's a strong one. Counting the top one, we have 6 times it's hit this line and stayed within it. And as you can see, we're going downward. Now in the weekly, it shows 324.63, but it doesn't show after hours and pre-market in the weekly, the daily, or the monthly. And but reality is 320.07 is actually your low bottom pivot point, and that was confirmed also by Stock Invest. They confirmed that technically 320.07 is your new bottom pivot point. And what that means is we're looking for a new high pivot point. And our past one was 488. And we have a white line up here at 457 that has not filled yet, and they fill just shy of 100% of the time. And so I'm anticipating that that would be potentially our next high pivot point area, real close to this 457 areas where I really believe we're going to run to when we get around to running. The question is, with the dominant trend being down, everything we have screaming that we're going down, and I believe we're going to gap down. By gap down, I mean we're currently hovering around 355 bare minimum. I think we're going to gap down to our white line that's not hit yet at 337 area, right at 337.35, I believe. And so here we go down, and this green trend line is your bottom support. Right in the middle where they hit is 284. Is it a possibility that that 320.07 that's been designated as our new bottom pivot point doesn't hold? Yeah, because the only reason that it's technically our top pivot is because we went up high enough to trigger it, okay? But if we go back down within $10, $20 of that pivot point, say we go back down to the 330 area or below, it's going to change and say that we're looking for a new bottom pivot point again. It's going to negate it. Because it runs off of technical. It runs off of technical, so to speak. So, but very, very likely it is. But at the very least, I think we're going to get scared to death. Some places where I believe it would possibly go if it breaks the 320 low bottom pivot point, and it's done it before. It did it back when our bottom pivot point was 302.70. We had a prior pivot point around the 309 area that was confirmed as a low bottom pivot point, and it came back and took out that pivot point and changed it to 302.70. So if my memory serves me right, and so it can be done, and you know, I follow Stock Invest also because they're big on pivot points, and Grandpa likes pivot points. But I can remember, they said, oh, we have a new low bottom pivot point, and the next day or so after that, we gapped down $20, $30 straight down. And it hadn't gone through that bottom pivot point yet, but it negated it. It negated it and said we were still searching for it. But that at that point, then the 302.70 did hold, and we were off to the races up to 488.50. We went down from 368 to 302, back up to 488, and we've gone down so far to 320, and we bounced back up some here, and we're searching. So let's go to the 4 hour here. Now, this white line right here for tomorrow, right around 455.11, I believe. Let's see, where do we have white lines? We have this 455.11. That's going to hit almost certainly on tomorrow, Tuesday. And then down below that, where Grandma's got a few buys in, not too many, because I think we're going to plow right through it probably, is at the 337.35. And but up above, we have a number of white lines that haven't hit yet. And what's nice about these white lines, if you're bullish at all here, you're going to see these white lines in your future. Okay, we have one right here. There's a little white line there. I got my mouse going over it. I have a yellow line there, just because the price has not gone up past this white line. If it does, it'll negate that white line. Then we don't worry about it no more, okay? Like we went up here and we wiped out all these white lines, okay? Anything, but now this is the highest white line that has not hit yet. And it's right up there at 457 right here. I'm sorry. This one has not hit yet, but it will. It'll certainly do it. But it could be a year from now, or 6 months, or 2 months, or 1 month. You just don't know positively. And but I do know that once we get down to where our low bottom pivot point is, whether it's 320 or 310, 312 would be a likely spot, or that 284. But if that 284 green line busts in that weekly chart, you're looking for 210, 212, if not lower. So that'll wake you up a little bit. But I'm hoping that 320, 312, 310 area holds us, and but I would not be surprised at all to see very close to 320, say 323, 325 area be tested, or even 321 before we turn and go up. And what we should see is some low volumes down there. Everybody's going to be extremely fearful because they're going to be thinking, oh, we're going to 284, we're going to 212, and everybody will be singing that song, and the fear factor will be extremely high, and volume will drop off and will probably stay there for 3-4 days or more while they scare you to death. And once they've scared you to death, towards the end of the day or whenever they decide to do it, and they've acquired enough of their positions, we're off to the races. And where we're going is a minimum of 457. We're going to go fill that white line. We also have a white line that hasn't filled at 408.50. We have a white line that hasn't filled at 380.27. And we have a white line that hasn't filled at 367.75. And so up above, the closest white line we have nearest us is 367.75. But I would like to see it go up and take that one out, but I don't think they're going to do that yet. I think they're going to take us down, take out the 337 first, and try to and retest our bottom pivot point at least, and then when we come back up, they'll blow through 367, 380, 408, and 457 on the way up, and it'll happen fast, and you want to be on the bus when it happens. So she's a tough game, I can tell you that. But absolutely, the dominant trend is absolutely down, and there's nothing I can do to change it. We are going down. And let me show you the daily quick before I quit this live stream. If I can find the daily. We have a bull flag right now in this daily, but the dominant trend is down. Here's your trend line, okay? We got to get up. To even get to the trend line above, we got to get up to 392. Okay. Down here, the white line, that's the 302.70, our previous pivot point. Okay. And 320, which is right about, well, it's right on this green line right here, this one. There's your new bottom pivot point, and it very like it's only $18 above our previous one, and it's very likely, or they might split the difference to give you 312, 310 area where this one is, this support spot. So yeah, but I believe we're going to gap down, and they're gonna take you down there quick, and we're gonna stay there a while and monkey around, trade back and forth, $15 up and $15 down, or $10 up and down, and bore you to death. And you'll be uncertain as to what to do. You'll be fearful, and but at some point, when we start seeing some low volumes in that area, you can anticipate a bounce. It's just what it does. If we can get some 40 volumes and 50s in a string of them, you can anticipate some higher volumes and a move up to some degree. Will it be the big banana that takes us to 457 next? I think so. I think very likely. Okay, so that's enough of that. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, of course. And hey, think about eternity once in a while. We got over 15 feet of snow here where we live. Up in the UP, I got my pickup outside one of the sheds. I can hardly see it. I mean, it's buried. Grandma wants me to go out and shovel. Oh, what's Grandma going to do? Well, Grandma's going to buy a little bit in the 337 area, 327 area, 321, and get loaded back up for what? 457. I'm going to try to get her to hold. She is holding some. She's got her one account that she's holding, and the other one she likes to go in and out of. It's hard to get Grandma to hold on to anything. If she gets in a profit, she wants her profit like right. She wants the profit before she even gets to the profit. That's the way it is. Think about eternity once in a while, and good luck on Tuesday. It's going to gap down, Grandpa's opinion. So adjust accordingly. See you later. Bye-bye.